almost 500 home runs, and it was just something that at that time, and he was actually in Oakland when it happened. I laid the knocked on the door and threw the bat at him. He was like, "What's this?" I said, "That's number 500." He just started laughing. He said, "What am I gonna do with it?" I said, "I don't know. What do you want me to do with it? I'm still playing." But he understood the magnitude of history, being 38, 39, 40, and I'm 19, 20. I just want to survive and play baseball, and he's over there understanding what's going on and where, not only, he fits, but where I fit.
When you look out tomorrow and see a lot of Mariners fans, so many people have made this trip because you're their guy. Can you talk about your relationship with the fan and just how much people like you, but your feelings back towards them?
It was quite interesting that, a lot of friends and family who traveled were in airports and all they saw were Griffey jerseys and hat backwards and things like that. So it's an honor. I mean, anytime that somebody, takes their hard-earned money and wants to celebrate something with you, it's special. And I've always had I say, all right, 90-10, good relationship with fans. 10% is that I don't sign a whole lot of stuff. Because if you sign one, that when you sign 100, that 101 gets a little bit upset. So I try to limit my signings that way. But people come up to me and talk to me all the time, and they bring up stories, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to remember that, and then they'll bring up a point, and I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. But they remember stuff a lot more than I do, only because it's directly affects them. I'm still playing, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what day was this, and who did that, and they'll bring up like, boom, remember this? And I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to keep going. And they start telling stories. I'm like, yep. And then it's that instant connection that a fan and an athlete have.
Ken, was the idea of your hat backwards on the plaque ever broached to you or brought to you?
It's whatever you want to do, but the thing is that you respect the game of baseball and what these doors have behind them, and not that I don't disrespect baseball, but everybody's hat's on forward to show the logo of the team, unless you play for multiple teams and you can't make your mind up. But for me, it was going to be forward, and maybe I get a dummy one for the house with my hat backwards.
Which S did you choose, the safe way or the more recent one?
I left that up to them. Still like a young Denzel.
You mentioned David Ortiz being Hall of Fame worthy. You play with the guy that the DH award is named after.
You see, I can't talk about that because I got to talk about that later.
Oh, in the speech. Okay. Ken, Carlton Fisk was saying earlier today about the magnitude of this fraternity of only 69 living people. Has that struck you, the exclusive nature of what you're about to join here?
No, I'm just trying to get over the rookie hazing. I'm just trying, not to carry nobody's suitcases to the room, things like that. Order room service and bill to somebody's room. I'm gonna check my bill every night. But a lot of these guys, like I said, have played against my dad, and so it made it a lot easier for me not to get the hazing. Because I tell them all the time, I know your family and y'all ain't dangerous. But these guys are, like I said, they've known me all my life. It's not like, they're just seeing me for the first time. And so it made it a lot easier coming in here.
Is Willie here, or is he going to make it?
Don't know. They haven't said, and I haven't looked at the list because I didn't want to, jinx myself. But, I saw, a lot of them last night, and a lot of guys get in today.
Ken, now that you're kind of think back to when you first were drafted by Seattle, what was your first impression of Seattle, and how did that change?
We can't talk about that either. Yeah, just hate to break that to you, but yeah.
See, there's been some planning gone in this speech more than you're letting on.
My speech is done.
Barry Larkin said that one of the tips he gave you was don't look your kids in the eyes. Do you have any other tips? Or
Yeah,
advice?
wear glasses, blinders. Have your wife and kids go to the bathroom when you talk about them, just so you don't steal. I don't know. They all said that.
I think Ricky said make sure you mention that basketball shot he made.
Yeah. Okay. That's in there. Oh, he gonna bring that up, huh? He gonna bring that up, huh? I'm gonna have to rewrite a little. Got to touch that up a little bit. Okay, Ricky.
Junior, you've had months to get ready for this weekend. I need to be calling. Talked to a lot of people, I'm sure, and maybe knew what it was going to be like, but this weekend for you, has it been what you thought it was? Better than experience-wise for you?
You try not to. They just tell you that you're going to enjoy it next year. You know, you're doing all the work this year, but next year you get to hang out and watch the other guy sweat. But no, it's been everything that I expected. I mean, you know, when you come up for the orientation to now, it's just been, you know, one thing after another, and you know, the only thing I'm not accustomed to is the 9 wardrobe changes. You know, I'm not used to that. They were like, hey, you got to bring this and this, and I'm like, I ain't got that. I gotta go buy that. Okay, I got a new suit. But you know, I think the worst part of it was I had to give up like 25 or 50% of my suitcase because somebody of my family, not that it wasn't my wife, so if that doesn't, but the kids, you know, needed some things from the house, so we had to bring them. You know, my oldest, who wears a size 13, was like, hey, I need a couple pairs of shoes. And I'm like, do you know how big 13 size shoes go in your suitcase? Yeah. It's not like wearing flip-flops or a little heel, you know, or these size 11s. And he wanted the high tops too. I'm like, come on. So, you know, the packing was probably the most difficult out of the week. It's, you know, everything else is pretty straightforward and fun.
How about during your career? I mean, you never really like to talk a lot about yourself.
I still won't.
How's this, all these interviews? How you been holding up? And is it?
No, it's been good because I really haven't had to say anything about myself. Y'all know all my numbers. It's good for me.
You got 2 more questions, guys.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
What
That's the time you show up.
do you like most about yourself?
That doesn't count.
Does that count?
What is wrong with you? I don't even know you anymore. You have changed.
Yeah, I'm older.
What do your kids make of all this?
They really haven't said anything. You know, they're too busy. You know, Tevin is, well, they're walking around playing Pokemon Go, trying to find things. You know, the hard part is Tevin's like, hey, it's like 600 yards that way. I'm like, what? He's like, something that's purple. I'm like, so I'm looking at him as he's gone, and then he goes, it's further. I'm like, so they're searching. They said there's great things around here for kids to do. So they've been walking the city all this morning, and so I'll see them in a little bit. But they really haven't said, you know, what it's meant, because, you know, they've got cousins, and that's more important than dad. You know, I'm just dad. You know, dad did this, and, you know, oh well. So who's coming? Okay, we got to go to this house. We got to go here. Okay, they gave it. So they've got it all mapped out.
You've talked about having the family in front of you when you give the speech. What about the 48 Hall of Famers behind you?
Like I said, they told me to keep my speech short and sweet. If I told them that I can throw out a little Prince, and then ended up with Russell Simmons. So I can start off with Jilla, we're gathered here today, and God bless and good night. And they went perfect. But it's unbelievable that, you know, these guys and the stories that they can tell and have told. Just looking at all the things that they've done, it's, to me, they've thrown up Bugs Bunny numbers. You know, he throws the change up and swing 3 times. That's what it's like. I mean, I look at some of these numbers and going, how did somebody do that? You know, you look at, you know, Nolan, for instance, 7 no-hitters and 5,000 strikeouts. and the next person next to him, what, 4,000? Was Randy 4,000 and some change? I mean, that's still, 5 more years of, 200 strikeouts. I mean, it's crazy. And the things that, Randy's done, how he, went from a, not knowing where his fastball and everything else was going to, a guy who was, probably going to go down as one of the most dominating left-handed pitchers of all time. So it's quite, and by the way, Randy's giving me probably the most advice. How about that? Pitcher talking to a hitter. But he's been good. I mean, we have, other than, the baseball, being able to, do photography. His son goes to U of A. My son goes to U of A. Trey and Taryn go to U of A. So we have a lot in common. So we get a chance to talk to each other probably, once or twice a month, texting. He's been, hey, just relax, soak it all in, you'll be all right. I'm like, okay.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good luck.
Dude, hey, what the, did you say golf?
Yes, of course. You ever read our?
Do you even play golf?
Nobody can't get